My name is Nils Olsen. I work at a software company called Tacton, where I'm the Chief Product Officer. So I first got in touch with customer value management through Kellogg School of Management when I was working at a company called Tetra Pak. One of the things that always motivated me was what we could provide to customers. Ultimately, customers do business with you because they find it worthwhile. And what has always been kind of a difficult question to answer is, well, how do you make that concrete? How do you make it tangible? Value is often misused in a lot of settings as something that is fluffy, feelings of liking something. But ultimately, business decisions are motivated by business case. When you choose to do one thing, it's weighed against all the other options you have at hand. So customer value management for me was really a way of making that much more tangible, making sure that you can have a discussion with customers about what they eventually would get out of it, what their outcome would be, rather than trying to prove that you had a better product. You would be looking at what they stand to gain. CVM is a truly great way of understanding how to field, market, sell products with strategic importance for the customer. Well, the interesting thing about customer value management is it's not really about what product you sell. It's about the importance that product has with your customer. If you're selling a product that is a strategic choice for the company buying from you, they will be asking themselves, is this the best way I can spend my money? Is this the better investment that I could do? What we do with customer value management is to understand that. It's to understand what you will get out of using the products. And as a result, it is applicable for manufacturing companies such as Tetra Pak, but it's equally applicable for a software company like Tacton. We saw a great result in getting an understanding of what your products really mean to your customers, seeing how different products could have different outcomes depending on in what use cases they were applied, how we can sell our products in the best way, what customers we should be addressing, where we could spend our effort best. But of course, it had very tangible effects as well. All of a sudden, in selling your products, you can side with your customer and explore how they can get the best bang for the buck. And that really changes the conversation between a supplier and a buyer. It changes it from being a situation where you're trying to prove the other one wrong into a situation where you're trying to understand what's really at hand. Of course, implementing customer value management is a challenge simply because it's a change. One fundamental challenge is to make sure that you have the support from top management that's always needed when trying to make a change come through. A second one is making sure that you have the right people participating in the setting up of the value research that you need to do to understand what value you're providing to customers. And the third one is, of course, getting access to those customers and getting the data that will give you that understanding. Anyone serious about using customer value management, my first and most important advice would be get going now. You will gain time by starting now instead of thinking about if you should start or not. And the outcome is really great. My second advice would be make sure that you have really good anchoring within top management that will help you through the challenges that you will undoubtedly have. And the third piece of advice is make sure that you put an organization in place. It doesn't have to be a big one, but somebody who is dedicated at seeing this through, somebody who really gets motivated by understanding customer value for real. when you're implementing customer value management, what you're really doing is you're collecting data. You're trying to do an analysis, draw conclusions based on the data provided. You could, of course, do that in something like Excel. The problem that you're going to get is that there's going to be iterations of data, there's going to be conclusions that you draw that are going to be sitting in file versions. With a dedicated tool, you will not only have support for the actual understanding of the customer value, but you can immediately reuse it in sales. And what's even better, once you've closed the deal, you will of course want to follow up the value creation with that customer to document the actual outcome, which is beneficial for you as a vendor because you get a greater understanding of the value that you provide. But of course it's great for the customer because they will assure that you together are aiming for the results that they envisioned in the very beginning. Well, Axios as a company, besides having great knowledge in customer value management, is of course also providing the customer value expert toolset. The guidance that we have had, both in Tetra Pak and at Tacton from Axios, has been paramount for us to be able to get the results done that we were looking to get done. Ultimately, it really boils down to having a deep understanding of how to look for customer value, how to understand where it comes from. Axios has provided us with the tools to make it through that journey in a good way.